But the thing is, now that opens up more time for Gary Harris, Will Barton, and last night the Nuggets have been listening, especially Emmanuel Mudiay. Shot wasn't falling for Mudiay last night, but 11 assists, one turnover. If that's going to be the case the rest of the season, if you're a Nuggets fan, you look to do one thing. Because if you know Moutier, the first 5 games of the season, 39 assists, 33 turnovers. Last night, 11-1. The game before, 6-2. The ratio is getting better, and what that means, if it's getting better, you're going to get more scoring opportunities and more opportunities not to make mistakes. Danilo Gallinari, 25 points. Fareed, 19-9. For the Bucks last night, look, we all know the Bucks are superly talented. Michael Carter Williams is out of the lineup. He's still not healthy. Jabari Parker is still, getting over the injury, so he was held out last night. But when Parker and Carter Williams are healthy, this is a completely different team. Jared Bailey has 22 points to lead the Bucks off the bench. Greg Monroe, another double-double, 18 and 10. Giannis, the human Swiss utility knife, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. But the problem is Chris Middleton got a huge contract in the offseason. Chris Middleton hasn't been the big scorer they needed. And last night, 5 and 13, 13. He got a 70 plus $1 billion contract in the offseason. He's not, in my opinion, living value of the way he played last season. So the Bucks are still trying to figure things out and still trying to get the pieces together. And once the pieces get together, they'll be just fine and they'll bounce back. Speaking of bounce back, before we go to the break, the Toronto Raptors bounced back last night against the perfect team to bounce back on. The Philadelphia 76ers, 119-103. Kyle Lowry is coming home game to Philly. The Raptors go 6-3. The Sixers still defeated 0-8. Listen, the Raptors needed this game. They didn't have Terrence Ross, who's now sprained the thumb, is out for an extended period of time. James Johnson got the start. They made some changes in the starting lineup, but really, Kyle Lowry, 23 points, 8 assists. Jonas Valanciunas, another double-double, 11 points, 12 rebounds, 22 minutes. DeRozan, 14 points for the Raps. Really, Bismack Biyombo, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, resembled an actual NBA player for once. Biyombo has shown flashes, can defend the rim, and can rebound, but still is clueless after all these years offensively. Last night, really got some tip backs, some dunks, and made it a little bit easier. 3 of 8 from the floor, but the double double off the bench. And really, this was a game they were going to cruise throughout. And Luis Scola, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 18 minutes. This is what the Raptors needed to get themselves back. But defensively, the Raptors need to tighten up because you give up 103 points to the Sixers, it's a problem. For the Sixers last night, Jahlil Okafor, another night from him in the office, 26 points, 7 rebounds. Jeremy Grant, double-double, 13 and 10, 12 and 10. TJ McConnell, 13 assists from the unheralded rookie. They also got 19 points from Hollis Thompson and 18 points from Isaiah Cannon off the bench. Nick Stauskas, since he's finally come off the injured list, 3 of 11 again. Can this guy stop shooting? I don't know what it is. If his shot's not on, stop chucking everywhere. The kid can shoot, but he's a streaky shooter and hasn't found consistency. He's only shooting 34.5% and only 28.6 from the 3-point line. So you got to start finding consistency in his game in order for this to work. Speaking of consistency, we're going to take a break, pay some bills, be consistent with that one. We still have the Knicks and Hornets to get to, a controversial ending in Charlotte, as well as Pacers and Celtics, and whatever you want to talk about. 407-378-3717. We'll also talk about the 3 games of the schedule and hopefully get into some fancy hoops. This is the morning tip off on Spreaker. We're back in a few minutes. We're going to pay some bills.
Listeners, now I know you've heard of this up-and-coming brand Hoop Culture, which is headquartered right here in Orlando, Florida. But here's something that you didn't know. They are opening a flagship store in Fashion Square Mall, downstairs right in front of the movie theater. That's right, the brand that has brought you the iconic Eat Sleep Ball design is bringing their streetwear brand to retail. Stay ahead of the fashion trends. Go visit them online at hoopculture.com or follow them at Hoop Culture. Our listeners save 30% off your next order. Use the code RADIO at checkout.
Looking to expand your reach and following in all platforms of media? Need a jumpstart in expanding your brand to all markets across the world? Sofo is here for you. Sofo means something for everyone, and they help expand your business through all platforms of media. Need to grow on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram? Their experienced team expands your brand and puts your business in places you would have never been before. Call Sofo at 407-607-9862 or follow Sofo LLC on Instagram.
Welcome to Late Night Parents. I'm your host, Ted Hicks. We have a weekly podcast where we sit down and talk with game changers in the sports, technology, education fields. We even do product reviews and giveaways. Why, you ask? Because we're all parents. So if you're ready for an up-close and personal look, then you can check out our podcast. New episodes are available every Thursday. Catch us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. That's Late Night Parents. The site is latenightparents.com.
Are you looking for your dream home? Or are you looking to move out of your current home and find the home to start the next chapter of your life? Look no further. Jim Fouquet with Century 21 Rue Realty is your go-to guy to help you with all your needs. Specializing in West Orange County, Lake County, and Ocoee, his goal is to take care of you from the beginning to the end and is not satisfied until the job is complete. Stop by 401 West Colonial Drive, Suite 7, or give him a call, 321-945-6832. Jim Fouquet with Century 21 Rue Realty. Are you looking for a fun experience on the water with your family? Bring them to the Orlando Water Sports Complex, located off Highway 528 near OIA. The Orlando Water Sports Complex provides an experience you won't soon forget, featuring cable wakeboarding, as well as the Super Air Nautique G23, the world's best wakeboarding and wake surfing boat for guests to enjoy. For more info, visit actionparks.com. That's AKTIONPARKS.com. And tell them Full Court Press sent you.
We are back. The morning tip-off on Spreaker, 407-378-3717. I know it's an Orlando number, but it's also toll-free as well, too. So check in with us this morning. We're talking hoops. We still have a couple games on the schedule from last night we haven't gotten to. Also, big shout-outs to our friends Sofo LLC and their brand-new website launching. Check them out for all social media needs, as well as all your marketing. And our good friends at Late Night Parents as well, too. The show will be on the air online. Check them out on Happy Hour Network, as well as their website at latenightparents.com as well, too. Speaking of Late Night Parents, because they're based in New York, the New York Knicks last night found some kind of way to lose another game. But this time, it wasn't the Knicks' fault. Kristaps Porzingis hits a game-winning shot at the buzzer, but it didn't count. Hornets hold on 95-93 in the controversial game of the night. Knicks fans are throwing things everywhere. They're not happy with this. And really, I kind of agree with them. The shot should have counted. And really, it was a controversial ending to a very, very good game. And the Knicks just couldn't get together down the stretch. But the Hornets, you have to give credit to 26-14 in the fourth quarter. They pretty much raced the Knicks lead. And after the Knicks had strong first and third quarter, led by Carmelo 39 points. Really, the Hornets didn't get much from Alger, 2 11, 4 points. Didn't get much from Kemba Walker, 2 of 11, 9 points. But really, play Nick Batum, who's had a career year this year in Charlotte, and also the Jeremys, Lin and Lamb. Lin against his former team, 17 points in 21 minutes. Jeremy Lamb, 14 points in 3 minutes. Really, their shooting really saved the Hornets once again. Lamb is starting to show that I thought the guy was immensely talented, just couldn't get a break up on the city. It's kind of hard getting a break, especially the ball when you have Westbrook. You also have, Kevin Durant. You have so many different scoring options. It's hard to pay attention and keep up with all. But the good news is that, Lamb especially is long term. Now he's signed long to deal in Charlotte. I think going forward, he's the guy of the future off the bench, the big six man, and he can eat it up like he did last night. The Knicks, another double-double from KP. Like I said earlier, 10 points, 15 rebounds. And what they look for is that he's been double-doubling it everywhere. He's been solid offensively, but the one thing he came in the league with hasn't been found is that three-point shooting. So far in the year, 20.8% from the three-point line. But if he starts raising that percentage, that 11 points, 9 rebounds, and a block and a steal a game could turn into maybe 13, 14, maybe 15 points a game. And you look at those numbers, you're going to start thinking, especially if he starts hitting that three-point shot, this guy has a little Dirk Nowitzki in him. I know, it's early. I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid, but the kid's impressive. He's a lot at this stage that I thought he was going to be when he was drafted. I thought it was going to be a while, but you got to give credit to Derek Fisher compared to what Byron Scott's doing in Los Angeles, because Porzingis is being thrown in the fire. He's playing heavy minutes. They're letting the kid make mistakes, and he's learning from it, and he's growing. I mean, the kid is only, 18? So he's 20 years old, So Porzingis has played professional basketball for years overseas in Spain, but Porzingis, it looks like when you watch him play, he has it. He has it. I think the city of New York and all the pressure and the bright lights, I don't think it phases this kid. The kid, he can play. He really can play. And that's the difference between him and D'Angelo Russell. Russell looks like he's a little, deer in headlights looking. But Porzingis is bringing it. I mean, he didn't have a dunk on anybody last night, but he's already targeted, I think, 3 or 4 players already that he's dunked on. But back to the game, Hornets win again. And you know what? You got to give Charlotte credit. They're back to 4-4. They lost 2 heartbreak games to the Hawks, by a couple points because of missed shots at the buzzer. You take away those 2 games, the Hornets could be 6-2. So this team is playing surprisingly well without Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. And really, what should have been was the Knicks should win this game. Anytime you shoot 49% from the floor, you're supposed to win. The problem with the Knicks was they were 19% from the three-point line. You can't go 4 of 21. It only gets to the line 7 times. It expects to win a basketball game, even if a controversial call didn't go your way. It just doesn't work that way. You got to get to the free throw line, and you got to hit three-point shots. The Knicks didn't have that. Speaking of things that guys didn't have it last night, the Boston Celtics at home didn't have it against the Pacers. Pacers 102-91. Really, Paul George, again, I don't think we should question the leg any longer. He's back. No shadows about. He had the injury last year. We saw him come back from it at the end of the season and almost carry the Pacers to playoffs. But Paul George is back in a huge way. And if he can get some help from Monta Ellis and George Hill, the Pacers are a playoff team, like I said at the beginning. PG last night, 26-10. He's really figuring out this power forward role and being a stretch 4. His athleticism is top-notch. He's back to normal, and he's rebounding very well. And so for the season, PG, 23 points, 8.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists a game, and he's efficient, 1.6 steals. He's everywhere on both sides of the ball. The shooting is back. Career 42% shooter. He's back to 42% this year. 35% from the three-point line, 36%. The numbers are starting to fall in line. George is probably, I'm going to say this, one of the top 10 players in the NBA going forward for the rest of the season. Last night was another reason why you look at Paul George as a sleeper MVP candidate as long as the pitchers keep winning. 13 points from Monta Ellis. He's got to wake up. He only took 9 shots. He didn't look overly aggressive, and he still has it. Maybe still trying to find his role and find his way. But you would think, especially without Rodney Stuckey in the lineup, You would think Ellis would be a little bit more aggressive and start getting to the line and really be the Monta Ellis that we thought he was going to be when he was added on. But they got 17 points from C.J. Miles. Chase Budinger contributed 10 off the bench, and Jordan Hill 12 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. For the Celtics last night, Marcus Smart is getting back into the thick of things,